It was in Kentucky that I began to understand what it felt like to push the boundaries of challenging authority, challenging the status quo. When my family and I moved back to Florida, they put me in a different art school. I guess for me, in my little bubble of evangelical Christian household, there was a limitation to what I was exposed to. And that's why I'm such a champion for early arts education for youth. But it was like the little gateway, the little bridge to help me see that the world is bigger than what I grew up experiencing. And it was in high school where I began to I think it was me exploring my queerness in a really repressed way, but just in my friendships and in the way I was dressing and presenting. And I think my parents felt that friction. And so senior year of high school, I was put in this really uncomfortable place of like, am I going to pursue art? At the time, it was photography and go to New York and do that. Or am I going to hard pivot and just kind of really understand my upbringing? And that meant, going to seminary and like immersing myself extremely deep into Christianity. And I made that choice. So I went to seminary and I minored in biblical studies at a Christian university and started a Christian band. And that was like a whole era of my life, just touring within these Christian circles. It exposed me to a lot of the brokenness of what is now the American church. Even when I was within it, now I'm more far removed. I can't exist within that structure, but I felt there was something sick about it. And my breakaway from it was, ironically, during Trump's first presidency. It was the church's response to Black Lives Matter. It was the specific church that I was in, there was policy on women in leadership. So it was all those things that kind of built up to this fever point of me pushing back slightly, but still never trusting my instinct and my gut enough to honor what I believe, instead of always trying to submit to what an authority figure or an institution told me to believe. Yeah, I think it was that built up to this really intense moment of me like splitting from reality. And a lot of my trauma came up, my repressed queerness, my fears of being evil, I suppose, as that's what Christianity was telling me that I was as a queer person. All that like exploded in my face, and I realized after I came back to myself, like, whoa, how did I get to that moment? And whatever my path has been can't continue that way anymore. And it was like a radical shift that whole year of me kind of departing from evangelical fundamentalism into whatever this is now. It's been hard. It's been a lot of lost family, a lot of lost community, support systems, structure in my life, but it's been a rapid journey because the intensity of the moment of my rock bottom was the fire to kind of get me to be like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm starting over and I'm paving a new path for myself. And that looked like moving out here to LA, moving away from every support system that I had in Florida and starting over. And it also meant the birth of a new name for me. My name is Andrew, but I needed a new character to kind of explore myself. And I think that's what this is. It is a character. I turn it on when I perform on stage, and it is a concept, but it's also, these are all parts of my identity that exist. We're all more complicated than we allow ourselves to be. So I can explore the extremes of my sexuality, my anger, my frustration, and these are just funny characters as well. It's like all within me, and I allow Cain Culto to be kind of the persona to express all of that. So that's kind of the birth of this artistic project, through a lot of suffering, through a lot of pain. But I think what I've realized is that the only way to truly heal from some of these heavier things is through expression. It's through play, it's through joy, it's through adventure. And I think that's what this whole project is. So I'm excited to continue releasing music.